to see you again.
You too. You said you wanted to talk about Zachary today. What would you like to discuss?
Well, I've just been wondering about his ability overall, because I've noticed that he's a really, really good reader, and I know he loves to write stories, and I see him as being really creative. You know, in his math, he does okay. Sometimes, you know, he struggles a bit, but overall, he does fine. And he's a very active little boy. But as we're, you know, now in fourth grade, I was starting to wonder, like, is he actually maybe more than just your typical kid, and is there something I should be doing that I'm not, and what does he need, you know, in school?
Okay.
And I wanted to see what you thought.
You know, as you mentioned, Zachary does very well in reading, and he's very good with writing. His vocabulary is amazing. I wonder, what was he like as a child?
Well, it's funny you should ask, because that's one of the things that I've always made me wonder about him, is that he started talking when he was really young. He was literally 6 months old, and my friends had children about that age, and he started, you know, speaking in words, saying mama, dada, and you know, knowing the names of the dogs and his toys, and before long he was speaking in strings and sentences. You know, he spoke really, really young, and he was always very curious, and of course very active. And so that's how he was as a young child. And then when he started school, he went through the motions, and he seemed to learn things really quickly.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he's always been advanced per se in reading until now. You know, he's always made good progress, and now I see him further ahead. Whereas when he was in, you know, kinder and first grade, you know, he was about average, but about second grade he started to really excel in the area of reading and writing.
Well, you know, I completely agree with you about his reading and writing. Like I said, he is doing very well in school. His writing, he uses words that most adults don't know how to use properly, so I'm very impressed with that. His reading is, I mean, he's a voracious reader. He devours books. He's reading at actually a level W, and the grade level expectation right now is a Q, so he's well beyond his peers in that ability. His math, like you said, he does sometimes struggle with that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he doesn't have exceptional qualities. Since you're new to the district, some of the processes that we normally do to see if students evaluate for gifted programming, you missed. Normally in second grade, we have every child evaluated with the Naglieri. We screen them using that tool, and if their screening meets a certain criteria, then we proceed with the gifted evaluations using. In Collier, we like to use the Wechsler nonverbal assessment test, or I'm sorry, IQ test. But since you guys weren't in here, there's a different process. I've actually already filled out a gifted checklist on him, because I do agree, I see things in him that are different from his peers, that make him stand out. He has different coping abilities when presented with problems that are just very unique and creative. And so yeah, I've already started the gifted process with the teacher referral. That referral will then be submitted to our intervention specialist, and she and our school psychologist will go over those criteria and see if he warrants further evaluation. If they determine that he does meet the criteria, then they'll test him, like I said, using the Wechsler. And based on the IQ that comes out of that evaluation, we'll determine whether he qualifies or not for gifted. Typically, or the standard is that he would get a 130. If he gets a 130 or above in his IQ level, then they will automatically qualify for him for gifted services. If he doesn't qualify under that, I do notice that at home, English isn't his native language. So because of those, because he's considered a special population, he could qualify with a different number, 115. So we'll just have to see what that comes out to be. Okay. But yeah, we've started the process. I'm just kind of waiting to see what the psychologist and the intervention specialist say about it. So, do you have any other questions about the process?
Well, is there something that I should be doing, or is this everything's being done that needs to be?
Well, like I said, I've started the process, but if you as a parent feel that you definitely want him screened, you have the right to officially request him to be evaluated, and then they will definitely screen him, and that's something you would let them know up front. You would request it through the psychologist or the intervention specialist. Otherwise, the process has been started. It's a process, so we'll have to wait some time period.
Right.
But I'm thinking that he should qualify, so we'll hopefully hear back quickly. every indicator shows that he's definitely, a special boy. And I think we'll have to wait, obviously, to see what they say. But if he does qualify under, if they do think that he's met the criteria, then they'll evaluate him. If he meets the evaluation criteria, then they will write an educational plan for him.
Okay.
And that will identify goals in his learning, areas where we want to extend his learning, give him learning opportunities so that he's not kind of bored with the curriculum, that he's always making himself stronger and better and reaching towards his higher learning. But those will be kind of part of the evaluation process to see what's best for him. Okay. So right now I can't really do anything. I've done everything I could do with the submitting the referral. We'll just have to wait. But like I said, it's your right as a parent to officially request screening also. Yeah.
Okay. I have one more question
Sure.
for you. What are your thoughts about how active or even hyperactive he is? Because that's always been a concern of mine.
Well, I'm not a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't tell you if he has ADHD or not. That's something your doctor would have to do. But it's not uncommon for a gifted student, if he's determined to be gifted, or even high achieving students to excel in an area and struggle in other areas, or to have these amazing abilities yet be unable to focus or to have attention. And if he does, if your doctor does evaluate him for ADHD, it would not be surprising if he qualified under that. Some gifted students are twice exceptional, meaning that their brains do some things very, very well, and yet they still have, some learning disabilities or some other, some other challenge that they might need some additional support with. So, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I can't evaluate that part, but maybe that's something you want to pursue, is finding out that. So.
Okay. Do you think I should? Do you think in the classroom that it's impeding his learning or is disruptive in any way, or do you think he's just he's got a lot of energy and he's doing just fine? What do you think?
I do think that sometimes his focus is not always there. Whether that's ADHD, I don't know, or if it's maybe he's a little bored. But as an educator, I need to make sure that he has the foundations first before I can extend his learning. And so, I do offer him, the curriculum that I'm offering him checks to see if he has mastered some of those foundational skills, make sure he's proficient in the information that we're learning right now, the content areas. I do give him extensions, though. In fact,
he's shared some.
Yes,
with me, and he's very proud of them.
He loves those research projects. Yeah. He really gets into that. He gets very focused on a topic, and he just wants to know everything there is out there, which it's a good indicator. But another thing we do in the classroom is we differentiate. So I pull small groups for reading, and he's in a group of like readers at his ability level. And we do a lot of higher order questionings and such like that, which really help him extend his learning. But I also pull him for a math intervention group because, like you said, he does struggle in that area. So we differentiate our curriculum based on their abilities, so that we're meeting their needs in all areas. It's just because they are gifted or high achieving doesn't mean that everything is easy for them, and we want to make sure that they don't fall through the cracks, we don't miss something, and they lose an essential part of their learning. So we are doing that already in our daily instruction.
Well, I appreciate everything you're doing for him. He loves school and he's really happy, but I just wanted to make sure, I just thought it would be a good time for us to have this conversation.
Well, I really appreciate you coming in, and welcome to the CES family.
Well,
We're glad
you
you're
so
here with us.
We're enjoying it. Thank you.